So, I am all done. So, okay, I'm going to make this quick because I feel bad. I think I drone on and I apologize if I do. I don't realize. But if I do, I do. I humbly apologize. I don't mean to. I'm just so passionate about whatever I'm doing. I love it. Anyway, moving on. Droning. About my math homework. Years ago, in high school, I used to be, I don't want to say a math whiz. I used to just love math. I loved adding and subtracting, and it was easy for me to do. So I remember a while ago, I used to be in this one particular class, and I was constantly getting everything right. It was like at the good part, just before algebra, or at the beginnings of algebra, I was killing it. And we were on polynomials, meaning, like polynomials, if you like multiply a two numbered like 16 times 16, or a number bigger, or a number bigger, meaning as opposed to two numbers, three numbers, four numbers. I always was able to do that, and it was not a problem. And then it became trinomials, three numbers times 4 to 5, 6 numbers, not a problem. And then when the bottom number to be multiplied by the top number became bigger, it didn't have a problem until it became just as big as the top number. Like if the top number had 5 numbers and the bottom number had 5 numbers, I would kind of get it messed up. I remember there was a test I had to take one time, and I was doing so well. My teacher at the time, Mr. Barber, he was like, he loved me. I loved him. I loved math, and he knew he could. He finally got to me, and he gave me this test, and I did it. I was so in love with doing it, and I knew I could do it. I totally failed it. And he looked at me, and he would announce everybody's results in class because he was so proud of the class doing really well. And then he came to me and he's like, "You failed." And I know people are like, "Oh, you shouldn't do that, teacher. You shouldn't out." But it wasn't as much as to embarrass me. It was out the shock that he felt and I felt at the same time, to acknowledge the shock. So I'm not mad at Mr. Barber at all. And no one should ever say, "Oh, it was close, wrong." No, at that time, it came as a total shock because I never failed a test up until that point. And right then and there, that's where I kind of froze up, because I was more embarrassed at myself than I was at him for outing me or at anything else. I was honestly embarrassed and disappointed in myself. And right then and there, I shut down. So that is the backstory. And to this story, what I'm doing now, I went to tutoring yesterday, and it was a quiet day. Basically, no one showed up. Things had to be canceled. But instead of us just separating, we all grouped together. And I made a point, and I told them the story. And they decided, one of the teachers, who's a wonderful man, had written up multiplications. All the teachers wrote up multiplications for me to do. And he re-explained, and it was re-explained to me how to do it. And as he was explaining it, I realized what I hadn't done, or what I missed doing. And I said, "Okay, give it to me, I could do it." And sure enough, I got home after dinner with Mom last night at like around 9:30, 10:30 or something, and I worked till 1 o'clock in the morning on 7 problems out of 10. I'm going to finish the other ones in a little bit. But I was able to do the problem, and if it was wrong, I would correct it and go back to it, and I saw where it went wrong. So everybody's like, "Oh, I hate math, I don't like math." I like learning. I love correcting that mistake that I made, and it haunted me I can still remember the movie. I can still remember that particular day and that particular scene and everything. I was pretty young. I was in my like early teens, maybe not even, maybe 10, 11, 12, 13. I was young. And I remember that day and I remember that incident. And I was in middle school. And I'm happy I learned from it. So that's part of my lesson for today. That was my lesson to myself for that day. And it's fun. I sat down and on my bed, put my glasses on, and did my homework, and I loved it. So thanks for sharing with me. Well, thanks for letting me share with you. You didn't share anything with me. Whether you did or didn't, if you have any problems with math or anything, don't be afraid to go back to it. Don't be afraid to correct it if you can, if you want to, and if you don't, you don't. That's okay too. I just really wanted to because it was a simple mistake and I wanted an answer. I wanted closure and I got it, and now I know I can do it. Next week I give them results and they'll correct it or see how it is, but I checked my answer, so everything should be fine. Yeah. But I think back, it's like I should have done that when I was in middle school back then. But at that time, I wasn't at that state of mind. I was at the middle school state of mind. Now I'm at a 44-year-old state of mind. And it's just like my work ethic has changed. And I demand more respect for myself from myself. So I'm looking forward to having them see it. And I'm looking forward to getting more. I mean, word problems, I can't, forget it. I never could, never wanted to, don't want to. But polynomials and algebra and FOIL, for those who know what FOIL is, love. I'm a nerd, math nerd, love it. Wah. I'll see you guys. Thank you for letting me share with you, and enjoy the rest of your day. By the way, the snow, whatever's going to come is going to come, which is nothing